being spontaneous with money can leave you without money. I assumed everything in Nando's came with chicken. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you're new, thank you for choosing to watch me. Make sure to subscribe if you like this video. And if you're already subscribed, then welcome back. This video is very timely. It's the new year and student finance is on its way. This video is going to be about ways to save money and how to spend wisely. By the end of this video, you'll be able to at least pick away one or two things that you can adapt into your own life to ensure that you will never experience being broke again. So let's get started. I want to start off by using Jay-Z's very famous quote about if you can't afford something twice, then you can't afford it. I feel like that quote encompasses the idea of not going somewhere or doing something or buying something if it's going to make you broke. It makes you question, is this worth it? For example, if your friends are asking you to go somewhere, the ticket is like £15, but there's the cost of travel as well. Maybe you'll want to buy drinks or something. So you have to think, is it worth it? Is this experience, this activity, or this item worth me losing this amount of money? Is this thing going to give back to me either financially or in any other aspect of my life? If not, then it's probably not worth it. My next piece of advice is to use the money for something you've stopped paying for to put into your savings. For example, I used to pay for phone insurance with my bank. I've stopped that now. I didn't think it was worth it. Then I would take that £9.50 I paid a month and put that into my savings account. This ensures that the £9.50 I used to spend isn't wasted and is actually going to increase itself and become something more useful. So that amount would then go into my savings every month or however often it is you would pay for that thing, and then you build up a foundation for a savings account. And that money can go towards any aspect of your life, but it means that you do have that amount of money to go towards something. Another tip is to round up your spendings to the nearest pound and put that into your savings account or into another account. So for example, if I were to spend £1.50 on a fruit salad, I would then put 50p into my savings account. This is quite a useful method because throughout the day we often do spend little bits and bobs, some sweets here and there, and all the extra change that adds up together can go into your savings. In first year of university, I lived in the library, and because of that I would always buy food from the local store, and that meant that I was wasting so much money on that meal deal. That £3.70 meal deal. That would be once or twice a day. That money, that excess change, could have added up and accumulated to something else in the long run. Now that feeds into another thing, which is if you're at work or at university and it's likely for you to want to buy food when you're out, don't do it. Instead, make a packed lunch. It is far more cost effective to buy a loaf of bread and to buy a pack of ham or whatever it is you like to put in your sandwich and to make that sandwich at home. My next piece of advice is to open up a savings account or a second account. And often with savings accounts, they add interest to the amount that you put in, which means that you could start off with an amount and after a certain amount of time you could end up with a significant increase on that amount of money. I recently came across the use of PayPal when I started selling more things on my Depop. I got a message from them actually before I made a Depop sale saying, "You have money," and I thought, I do? And I looked in there and I think I had £5 or something. But do you know how nice it was to just look in that account and just see a nice £5 just sitting there untouched? So definitely use something like PayPal where you can store money there that doesn't get charged or anything, and you don't get charged to withdraw the money from there, and you can use that for savings. For example, I usually make my sales from my Depop and leave the money in my PayPal, and then that works as my savings or my backup account for when I'm low on money in my main account. The gist of it is to not have all of your money in one account on one card, because you'll just feel like you are invincible. All of that money is just there and you can just tap tap tap. In light of that, if you are to open another account, decide truthfully if you are trustworthy enough to have a card with that account or to not. Then you either withdraw the money from that account into your main account or you use that card. Having said that, I also do have a Monzo account. This is a really cool bank account. As soon as you spend, you get a notification saying you just spent X amount. This is how much you have left. It gives you a graph of your spending. You really get that notification saying you now have 5p left in your account, and you have to think, wow. Wow. So it's definitely good to have accounts where your money is spread across. Another method for saving money is saving in tens or hundreds. So if you were to have £670 in your account, until your next paycheck or until your next income of money, you spend only £70. That is a great way of making sure that you always have money in your account. So say that £70 or so is for you to use for miscellaneous things such as traveling, going out, going to the cinema, that kind of thing. And that bulk of the 600 is for things like bills and other important things that you have to prioritize. Speaking of prioritization, to plan how you're going to spend your money before you receive it. So before your student finance comes in, before your paycheck comes in, before your allowance comes in, what are you going to spend it on? Divide your spendings into aspects of your life. For example, there is education. You need to be spending money on stationery and books. There's also fashion, clothes, shoes, accessories, all of that. Food, if you don't live at home and you have to buy your own food. Travel, whether that be petrol or rail or TfL travel. And then there's miscellaneous things such as going to see your friends, going to the cinema, eating out, things like that. Divide that up and see where your money is going to go for that month before your next payment. Make sure that you are prioritizing certain things. For example, what I like to do is before I receive my money, I calculate how much I'm going to spend on bills that month, and I deduct that from my overall amount, and the result is how much money I actually have. For example, if I'm about to receive £632 and £32 of that is for my bills, I'm only receiving £600 because bills have to be paid. So prioritize that when you receive your money. My final piece of advice is talk to yourself. When you're about to make a payment, when you're thinking about purchasing something, ask yourself, do I need it? Can I wait? Can someone else get it for me? There are things that we need and there are things that we want, and it's the necessities that we need to prioritize over our desires. So that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you were able to pick up some hints and tips for how to save money and how to make yourself spend more wisely. Make sure to comment down below if you have your own tips or if you want to challenge any of my tips. To subscribe if you haven't already, and to share with anyone who you think needs to hear this. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!